the word education mean? It comes from two Latin words, e and duco. Duco means to lead, and e means out or out from. When you're educated, you have been led out from darkness into light, from ignorance into knowledge, from weakness into strength. Have you been educated? You know, if you buy a used car or a brand new, looks good, but then when you get ready to drive it out of the lot, it don't move. And the salesman said, it's yours, but the car don't move. You take that man to prison, take him to court, charge him with fraud. Huh? Well, we need to charge somebody with fraud who said they educated us. They gave us something that they call knowledge, but you can't use it to free yourself because you're still a slave to the same power that your father without education was a slave to. Boy, boy, boy. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I just want to stop the killing. Black brothers and sisters, up here, we've been hurt. And you know how you can tell when a person's mind is messed up? You listen to their words and you watch their actions, and then you know they have to be confined. When you listen to the words that come out of our mouths, and you look at the deeds that our hands are doing, you say, what has happened to our minds? Look at our example, white people. What kind of shape is your mind in? Oh, you dead too. Can you imagine some, give me some juice. Don't take my juice from me. Can you imagine a mind so sick that they believe because they're white, they're better? Not because they know more, not because they're righteous, but because they're white. Is that a person that's well? Can you imagine a sick man coming to a... The Indian let him in, treated him like a brother, and then he slaughtered the Indian. And now the Indian is on reservations in his own land with no justice. But white folk are well? Hell no, they're sick. Their minds are messed up, and they are our teacher, and they messed up our minds. Yes. We're going to talk tonight. I haven't been to Tennessee in 10 years. I want you to just hang with me a little bit tonight. We got to stop the killing. Can you imagine? Our poor fathers in Africa minding our own business. We didn't come here on the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. We didn't come here seeking no freedom. We were no refugees trying to find some place to land. These people came and got us, and some of our own brothers sold us. And we end up on a ship. Millions of us dying in the middle passage. But it's all right because black people aren't worth that much. Who said so? Sick white minds. Are you all right? Why does this thing keep shutting off? This is a bad transmitter of truth, ain't it? Brothers and sisters, when our fathers' lives were devaluated because of the blackness of our skins, and whites looking at us as subhuman, they didn't only devalue us, they devalued themselves in the process. And so now you look at your black life and you don't give it any value. I don't want to use $1. Find something else. I got something else. Here's $50. And look at this. Does this have some value? Come on. Yes, it got value. This is a medium of exchange. Put this in your hand, you can go get something, $50 value or less. That means this is worth having, isn't it? Huh? Sure it is. Now I can roll it up. It don't say nothing. I can throw it down. It ain't said nothing. I can step on it. Haven't said nothing. But it has become so valuable that people kill people for paper. Here's a dead president, Mr. Grant, who granted us nothing. But this has value, but you don't. So we kill each other for this. They have in London a Rolex watch bandit. Okay. Thank you. A Rolex watch bandit. A man had his Rolex watch and a diamond ring, and when the bandit came to get the watch, he didn't want to give it up. They took a chainsaw, took off the man's arm with his watch and his ring, because his arm didn't have any value. But what Rolex made had more value than what God made. Do you follow what I'm saying? Some of you selling the white powder or crack cocaine, it's got street value. And you kill one another over drugs, because a drug that comes from a plant has more value than this that comes from God. Something is wrong. We go to church. Our reverends tell us, help them build a new church. And we build a new church. When you walk inside the church, people say, shh, 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 shh. Be quiet, be quiet. You're in the house of God. If somebody is not of a high station and steps up on the in the pulpit or the altar, step down. Get up, get. This is reserved for the priest. This is holy. Only the priest can come in here. My God. What is your building made of? It's made of stone, mortar, wood, glass, carpet, speakers, microphone, colored glass windows. Beautiful, isn't it? But that's your vanity. made that. Who's the architect that made it? You're the architect. Who are you? But who is the architect of this? Talk to me. Who was wise enough to fashion sperm? And in sperm is a full human being yet to be developed. Who was wise enough to be the architect and the master of human life? This is the real house of God. There's no cathedral, no mosque, nowhere on the earth more valuable than you. You are the real house of the living God. Are you listening? But you put more value on the house of stone built by men than you put on the house of flesh made by God. And you're educated, but you don't see your value. You're educated, but you don't see the value of your woman. You're educated, but you have no reverence for the womb that bore you. You're educated. You're educated, but you don't know how to become a man. You're educated, but you're twisted so that you are a male that sees yourself as a female in the wrong body. You're educated, but now you have changed the natural use of the woman into an unnatural use, but you're educated.
You are listening to the Black Radar YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button and keep listening.
You're educated, but the dogs treat their own better than you treat your children and your wives and each other, but you're educated. Stop the killing. Reverend, what have we been preaching? Church is full of fashion-conscious people, bringing their latest styles to the house of God, but not bringing their hearts to be taught, edified, grown into manifestations of God. But you're educated. You got all these letters behind your name. The number one letter is BS. That means Bachelor of Science. Bachelor of Science. BA, MS, MA, LLD, MD, DD, PhD. You got all of that, but you haven't evolved to become human yet. A world full of beasts in human form that have yet to evolve into a full developed human being. But you're educated. You're educated. You're so educated that you cannot integrate your education to become whole in your knowledge. You stand like a branch or a twig on the branch of knowledge in your area of specialty. But you can't relate your area of specialty to another area of specialty because the way you've been trained, you can't see the whole. I just want to talk to you tonight. We're just going to stop the killing. Beloved brothers and sisters, the Bible opens with a book called Genesis. In the word Genesis, you have the word genes. Genesis is the beginning. And the beginning of us is our genetic makeup. In the Bible's book of Genesis, you have the whole of the 66 books of the Bible wrapped up in the Genesis, but it takes those other books to evolve what is written in the Genesis. I'm coming to something. Just bear with me. We're talking on Stop the Killing. The Genesis is called the first book of Moses. But Moses was not in the Genesis. He knew nothing of the beginning. He wasn't here. Moses was a liberator. Is that right? Then let's ask ourselves, why is Genesis called the first book of Moses? Who was he talking to, and what relevance does it have to you and me and our subject tonight called Stop the Killing? Can it be found in the Genesis? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved on the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And he saw the light, that it was good. And he separated the light from the darkness. And he called day, and the other he called night. Let's look at it. Moses is talking now. He's a liberator, but he's telling something to his people through the Genesis, through the beginning. They have to know something about the beginning in order for them to have a beginning. Please understand, because every beginning is related to the beginning. You didn't hear me. I'm going to say it again. Just walk with me a little bit tonight. Every beginning is related to the beginning. Everything in the beginning was in darkness. And that's how we began, in the darkness of our mother's womb. Talk to me. No light there, just darkness, huh? In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Stop right there. Why did you say that, Moses? I've got to show my people the relationship between heaven and earth. Because earth can't do nothing without that relationship with heaven. What you mean? God brought light out of darkness. Now the light of the sun is what energizes earth. Talk to me. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I want you to follow this because everything is related. And I'm going to touch, with the help of God, all your disciplines in my discourse tonight, just to show you that religion is the most relevant of every discipline. But religion has been taught wrongly. And I want to prove to you tonight that religion is no ethereal madness. Religion is supreme science. And when you get a true religious teacher, you have a supreme scientist in your midst who don't deal with guess, but who deals with actual facts.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.